And what a whirlwind week we've all had as a farming industry. A lot of preparation leading up even prior to Monday, getting tractors ready, a lot of phone calls to haulage companies, BCV and RD Woodcraft. Really hats off to you guys, done a good job for us. In our circumstance, it got us halfway to London. Couldn't give you a time when we were coming back out of London, funnily enough. That was a hell of an event in its own right, trying to get back out of London in the dark, but we managed it. It was good. No problems. Everybody got out okay. Tractors behaved themselves. Couple of really good speakers on the day, organised by Save British Farming. Mo Fisher, Gareth Wyn Jones, obviously really strong character. Well supported, not just Save British Farming members, but Farmers to Action, who I'm sort of part of, and obviously No Farmers No Food and Midlands Farmers Group. All of you guys, hats off to you, well done. Look, we're all in it together. We're all looking for the same outcome at the end of the day. Absolutely spot on. Don't think because I'm Farmers to Action that I don't believe in what you guys are doing as well. Absolutely spot on job. Obviously, I think a lot of people speaking afterwards, they felt very despondent. We had 2.5 hours of very good debating from other MPs and people on our side. You'd have thought that would have been enough in its own right. And then you get the Labour MP chap stand up for 4 minutes and repeat everything that we've already heard and shut it down. And we didn't really get an idea of where we were going from here if things didn't work out from the organisers on the day. And obviously with their response, we weren't exactly inspired, but they were going to make the right decision. Obviously going into their meeting Tuesday next week. Hats off to the members of the public. We had a tip off that Mr. Starmer was going to be where he was in Newport Pagnell that day, and he skirted away in London for the day to have tea and cakes with the King and applaud himself yet again. Kind of a little bit sick of him not really showing an interest, really. We had the opportunity to go there, have a presence. We knew it was going to make news, and whatever way you look upon it, any news is good news. If it gets us in the press, that's a good thing at the moment. It's pressure still being applied. We behaved. It was great. It went extremely well. Laughing and joking with Keir Starmer's bodyguards. Absolutely great pair of guys there. Police, hats off to Thames Valley Police. They even come out afterwards and said what a peaceful protest it was. Shaking hands with us. Crikey, he would have even accepted a coffee from me when we went to the cafe afterwards, but he couldn't, and they were professional and we respect them for what they've done. Absolutely spot on. You can't knock somebody for doing their job. That's what it is. If he had have ushered me in, pat me down, make sure I was secure, safe, we could have had a brief discussion. We knew it wasn't going to happen, but, hypothetically, he could have done. And he could have went on and done what he needed to do the rest of that day. That's what any sensible person would have done. They had addressed the issue, strong character. That's what a Prime Minister should be a strong character, should have been able to address the issue, have the answers ready for us. He didn't. And unfortunately, he done what Rachel Reeves did at Oxford when she had a meeting there for about the GDP. She skirted away, he skirts away. Everybody's skirting around the issue and not addressing it. And it's wearing thin. And I'm sorry, but for all the talking that NFU is doing, for all the talking that everybody else is doing, talking is not enough in this situation, guys. It really, really isn't. It's been proven that we're not getting listened to, okay? And to be quite honest, that day he was so flustered, you think he even got out the car the other end, still in his high vis. We were having a good joke about this with Alexandra Phillips from Talk TV. And he was put on the spot yet again, and he made a mistake. And the big mistake was pitting us off against the NHS. Where was he going to think he was going to go with that? The money that he's going to raise from us, a pittance in the grand scheme of things. You know, we're talking billions every day that these guys are dealing with. 500 odd million they're raising from us guys. You know, NHS, I think that's a bigger problem than what we as farmers can solve, you know. And we are the first in the line for helping the health of people in this country. We are supplying good, healthy food. You know, that's where it starts. You know, put the right fuel in your body, you know, it's going to get you somewhere near. You know, 500 million, I think it said, you know, it's going to fund the NHS for 23 hours. Guys, come on. Don't pit us off against the NHS. The NHS do a cracking job. Hats off to you guys. And I think even they would agree, don't go there. Just don't go there. But people did go there, and Keir Starmer did. And I think he's made a fatal mistake. And I think he's given the population yet another reason to address the problems in this country. He is not in the same world. He really isn't. He can't be. I'm sorry. But you don't do that. It's childish. It really is ultimately childish. But the bigger problem here, and it is a bigger problem, and I go back to what I started with here, and it's unity. You know, we had Save British Farming come out first and distance themselves from us. Why? You're not our saviour, guys. You're really not. Farms to Action aren't your saviour. None of us in our own little groups are the saviour of what's going to happen here. We are all farming. We are all doing the same job. Doesn't matter how you look upon it. I'm not looking for stardom. A lot of people are, however, and that is the problem here. And then, to top it off, the NFU come out and distance themselves from us. Why? I can only think that somebody from Labour has given them a call and put pressure on them to do so. You know, you tell them to get away. Go yourself, to be quite honest. Because we won't have this meeting with you next Tuesday if you don't. And I kind of feel that's the only thing it can be down to. Because the backlash that Save British Farming have had, the backlash that the NFU have had since distancing themselves from what was achieved, and it was achieved at Milton Keynes the other day. 13th of February, you know, it was a day to remember, to be quite honest, whatever way you look at it. But it's more reaching than that. Guys, look, I'm not going to name sources. I had a load of screenshots sent to me this morning, and quite frankly, the comments that were made about us guys doing what we've done in Milton Keynes were quite frankly vile. And it's no place for somebody running or organising, say, British Farming to come out and do that. You have done a lot of damage to yourself, and to be quite honest, shame on you, because it isn't just you. There's a lot of guys behind you, and you haven't done yourself any favours. I'm sorry. Please stop. You know, I'm tough-skinned. You know, I don't care what you think of me. There's a lot of people in this country that kind of think pretty highly of me at the minute, and, you know, it isn't just me. You know, there was a lot of guys there that day. They put their neck out on the line to get noticed, to get something done, to change something. Just take a deep breath. That's all I'm going to ask you to do. Take a deep breath. And, you know, message to Starmer. What would I have said to him? Look, there's a lot of people out there, members of the public, that think we're getting an easy ride on it. I suppose they're right. But they need to realise why that was in place, why we were getting that leeway, why we were getting it easier than a lot of other people. There are a lot of other businesses, and we respect that. I personally respect that, regardless of any other group, you know, as an independent person. But inheritance tax is a bloody awful thing at the end of the day. And, you know, my personal story, okay? Hand on heart. We've been here since 1820. Before us, it was Duke of Grafton. Before him, it was Henry VIII's hunting lodge. You know, there's a lot of history here, a lot of tradition. When my father died, October 21, I was there on his deathbed. I told him I loved him. I told him I'd look after my mother. And I told him that I would keep the farm going. And I don't think people realise, probably about my personal situation here, you know, taking on a farm since then, and I mean, I have worked this farm all my life as well for nothing, you know, in preparation to be taking it over myself one day. There's a lot of pressure on me. With all those generations before me, I do not want to be the one responsible for losing this farm. And look, guys, look, honestly, I won't lose the farm. You know, it's going to cost me hundreds of thousands. You know, we are fortunate enough that in my other profession, I'm an architect, and I will no doubt have to use that money to supplement and keep things ticking along. We will get through. But I shouldn't be having to do that in order to keep a farm going, to keep the history of this place going. And the problem is, how's that then going to affect my kids? Is that really going to help them? What are they going to do? And not only that, if we let this slide, how much worse is it going to get? And that's the frightening thing that we're going to have to take into account here. If we let this slide, how much worse is it going to get if I think they can get away with doing what they've done? If you're reading this and if you're watching this, anybody in the Labour Party, Keir Starmer, if you're watching this and you want somebody independent to come and have a chat to, not the NFU, not part of any group, because it's not been funny, if NFU come up with a great idea tomorrow, I would jump ship and I would go with them, okay? I don't care about who it is I'm representing. I want to get the job done, okay? But at the minute, Farmers for Action for me are the guys and the vehicle and the group of people that I've met as a result of being part of a group that are getting somewhere at the moment, or it feels like we're getting somewhere at the moment. And you can't deny it. The press that we had the other day, we're getting somewhere at the moment. NFU, use what we've done as a vehicle to go into that meeting and say, look, they're pretty persistent, you know, we're not going to go anywhere. They will hound you. We will go and peacefully protest wherever you go. And I'm sorry, but we will. And I emphasise peaceful. But we will make a nuisance of ourselves. We won't go away. We will keep on trying to make the headlines. We will get noticed. The public are behind us. I'm pretty new to this whole TikTok and social media thing. But, you know, when you're getting 20,000, 30,000 views in a day and hundreds of comments and not one of them negative amongst them, you know, people are backing us. Realise that people are backing us. We're going to get the trolls. We're going to get the people of saying all the same things. Why are you getting it so easy? That's always going to be the case, isn't it? It doesn't matter what you do. But go into that meeting next week and realise you're representing farmers. Not just yourself, not just your organisation, because I'm sorry, NFU, you don't represent us all. And I think the message has been sent to you that you don't. People have turned on you. And I've got a funny feeling you've lost quite a lot of members since then. Do the right thing, actually. Take the message down. Do the right thing. Do what the government can't do. Realise you've made a mistake. Apologise. Apologise not just to me, apologise to everybody in the farming industry for distancing yourself. It will do you a far, far better job doing that. It really will. Guys, have a good day. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good fight. We will get there. Chin up. You know, mental health is an issue at the minute for a lot of people. Talk to people. Give them a call. Go around to see them. Government are saying they support mental health. At the minute, you're kind of causing the issue. Have a good day, guys. Speak to you soon.